Thank you, Greg. U.S. Deputy Secretary of State, Mr. Bruce Williams, Andrews rather, sorry, that's the actor. Chair Jesus Stanislao, Chair Ramon del Rosario, Chair Enrique Cubbins, Ms. Maria Reza, distinguished guests, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant morning. The Office of the Ombudsman commends the U.S. APEC Business Coalition for organizing this well-timed roundtable discussion, aptly titled Creating Ethical Cultures, Some Lessons from the Philippines, and for inviting our office to share our thoughts on the matter. Our demanding schedule notwithstanding, the office appreciates and welcomes being invited to this gathering, where we can share our initiatives, progress, challenges, and future plans within the framework of our statutory mandate and how it contributes to the broader nexus of socio-cultural, economic, and political development. These knowledge-sharing exercises give us the opportunity to share our story in a manner that is relevant to our audience, in this case, the private and business community. Corruption, according to Pratibha Patil, is the enemy of development and good governance. The bedrock of development and good governance is the rule of law. There is no rule of law if corrupt duty bearers and claim holders are allowed to commit fraudulent practices with impunity. Despite its constitutionally guaranteed independence, the office is aware that it cannot operate in silos, and it cannot deliver its mandate single-handedly. While we guard our independence, we also recognize our interdependence with the rest of the anti-corruption infrastructure, such as but not limited to the private and business community, academia, media, but not NGOs, CSOs, POs, and other branches of government. For this reason, a sectoral approach is necessary to harness a shared accountability among all stakeholders. Accountability needs responsibility, according to Stephen Covey. We cannot be passive stake and claim holders. We must be accountable and responsible for the rights we claim, especially those that are accorded to us by our Constitution. Let me now focus on some key initiatives that are of particular interest to the private and business sector. As most of you are aware, the Office of the Ombudsman launched the Investment Ombudsman program in June last year and designated no less than the overall Deputy Ombudsman and Acting Special Prosecutor Melchor Arthur Carandang. He is here with us right now. He is the Investment Ombudsman. The Investment Ombudsman program aims to encourage more local and foreign investments in the country and further improve global competitiveness through prompt action on investor-related grievances and speedy resolution of investors' complaints. It also aims to ensure that licensure and other business regulatory mechanisms conform to a speedy system that is free from delay, fraud, bribery, and red tape. Lastly, it aims to provide an accessible venue for the redress of grievance in the processing of business permits, licenses, and other investment-related government services. The Investment Ombudsman Program handles complaints and concerns at the level of public assistance and field investigation. The Investment Ombudsman may direct the various public assistance field investigation units of the office and even mobilize other government agencies to look into the matter with close supervision and monitoring. If the investor's grievance remains unresolved and ripens into an administrative or criminal complaint or offense, the Ombudsman may ultimately endorse the filing of an appropriate case against the erring public officials or employees in accordance with regular procedure. Through the Investment Ombudsman Program, we hope to eradicate the recurrent problems that the business community encounters. As of October 31 this year, The program has received a total of 62 complaints nationwide, all of which have been acted upon. 3 of these complaints had been dismissed, 5 are still undergoing investigation, and 54 are undergoing preliminary investigation or administrative adjudication. I am pleased to share with you that by February 2016, the program will conduct a multi-sectoral investment for integrity forum. This forum aims to increase the advocacy on the Investment Ombudsman program, similar to what was concluded in Cebu, Davao, Iloilo, and Lawag, since the program was launched in 2014. Promote the principles of integrity and inculcate the value of zero tolerance corruption, as well as share insights and perspectives in public accountability and good governance. Build, expand, and strengthen partnerships with the business community towards development and investment conducive environment. And further, mobilize support of stakeholders in the corruption prevention efforts of the office and foster multi-sectoral coordination. We must never miss opportunities to build partnerships in the fight against corruption. Do not be fence sitters. Based on the recommendations made in the capacity assessment of the anti-corruption infrastructure in the Philippines, which was completed in 2014 with the support of the United Nations Development Program, the Ombudsman, together with other constitutional bodies, is spearheading the process of developing a 5-year national anti-corruption plan that goes beyond this administration. The plan will cover the entire anti-corruption sector, which includes the private sector. We intend to launch the framework during the Integrity and Anti-Corruption Week from December 7 to 11 this year. Development and consultation on the details of the plan will commence in 2016 in time for the assumption of the new administration. This plan will also serve as input on the integrity and anti-corruption chapters of the new Philippine Development Plan. The plan will also integrate the gains made under the Integrity Management Program, which is jointly being undertaken by the Office of the President and the Office of the Ombudsman. The IMP reviews and assesses systems and processes of key government agencies in terms of their risks and vulnerabilities to corruption, whereby the office recommends corrective and preventive measures to the heads of agencies. Moreover, institutional reforms across various agencies have been identified by the output of the review mechanism under the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, or UNCAC. The office and the Office of the President have so far held 2 state conferences since 2013, where various stakeholders reported on the accomplishments in the implementation of the convention, including commitments to further the country's compliance. Both state conferences were attended by the heads of the 3 branches of government, officials of the constitutional commissions, key government agencies, development partners, civil society, organizations, private sector, and the media. Preparations for the 3rd state conference are currently ongoing, to be held also during the Integrity and Anti-Corruption Week. I am elated to share with you the inclusion on the latest draft as of 16 November 2015 of the APEC Economic Leaders Conference, Manila 2015, a statement on our anti-corruption initiatives, which I quote, "We recognize that corruption impedes economic sustainability and development and agree to combat the harms related to the illegal economy and to promote cultures of integrity across borders, markets, and supply chains. We reaffirm our commitment to open and accountable governance and to promoting international cooperation in the areas of repatriation or extradition of corrupt officials, asset recovery, criminalization, and prevention of corruption among the APEC member economies. We support the APEC network of anti-corruption authorities and law enforcement agencies in advancing pragmatic anti-corruption cooperation and welcome the Cebu Manifesto for the protection of anti-corruption officials." That same week, The office is targeting to operationalize its revised rules of procedure of the Office of the Ombudsman. The rule is based on a series of consultations with particular focus on the preliminary investigation and administrative adjudication processes of the office. The rule is expected to further strengthen the day-to-day operations of the office. The Philippines cannot afford to lose its impetus towards development. The collective will of the Filipino people, guided by the spirit of good governance and integrity, must triumph over the forces that sow social inequities and economic disparities. Collective local and global cooperation will allow this nation to ultimately attain its development agenda. These undertakings work toward ending the cycle of impunity and poverty and nurture the seeds of integrity and usher a corruption-intolerant society. The track to sustained development is not just sectoral, but intergenerational as well. Let us support leaders with integrity, not just competence. Good leaders lead people, but great leaders inspire people to help themselves and others towards realizing a just cause anchored on rule of law. By choosing the right leaders, let me emphasize, right leaders, we strengthen the institution they will shepherd. By strengthening the public institutions, we increase our investments in good governance and democracy. Thank you, and mabuhay.